多元话题，全面观察，实事求是，客观评论。这一项制度是否无法取代？政府为什么要颁布这一项政策？国际时事千变万化，谁是既得利益者？老百姓到底关心的又是什么？三分天下事，天下事说三分。
时事、政治、热点话题、社会、民生、世界格局，每周日晚7点半，敬请关注 NCTV 中文台。
三分天下事，天下事说三分。观众朋友们，大家晚上好，欢迎收看《三分天下事》，我是 Andrew 安德鲁。在《三分天下事》呢，今天晚上呢，很高兴呢，能够邀请到绿色和平组织的 CEO Russell Norman 来到我们的节目里面。Welcome to the program, Russell.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
然后呢，我们还有一位非常漂亮的女孩子来，她是这个绿色和平组织纽西兰这个分区的这个数据分析员，对不对？
对。
雷。
大家好，很高兴来参加安竹的《三分天下事》这个节目。
好。那么绿色和平组织呢，大家其实近期呢，可能也看到了一些报道，他们有一艘船，这艘船呢叫做彩虹勇士号，是来到了这个纽西兰，现在停泊在这个港口啊。那么接着下来呢，首先呢，在我们展开这个三分天下事一开头呢，先把我们有一个小小的片段，先让大家呢来体会一下，来看一看这个彩虹勇士号。我们先去看看彩虹勇士号吧。那么三分天下事，那么大家刚才看过这个视频，看到这个彩虹勇士号这个停泊在这个奥克兰。那么接着下来呢，我们要进行这个访谈了。首先呢，是来问问纽西兰办公室的首席行政官
对
Russell Norman。Russell, I think a lot of people they know you, or you were the Green Party co-leader before for quite some time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
How's life? Good.
Yeah, it's great actually. It's great to have a bit more time.
Yes, so much better. A lot more time for your families.
Yeah. It means I get home for dinner, which is because I've got 3 little kids, so it's great to see them.
Okay. How long have you been doing this, working for Greenpeace now?
Nearly 3 years, coming up for 3 years since I took over the role at Greenpeace. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So first of all, shall we actually start talking a little bit about the Rainbow Warrior? Rainbow Warrior, we understand there's a bit of what do you call that, history. With about how long ago? It was about 30 odd years ago. There was happened. The ship itself was damaged because of what incidents? Can you just very briefly talk about it?
Sure. It was. It's an amazing incident, really. I mean, in 1985, the French government bombed the Rainbow Warrior in Auckland Harbour, which is really incredible. I mean, for a friendly government, for a friendly government, right, to send its divers, scuba divers through the water, put bombs on the side of a.
Reason?
Because Greenpeace was campaigning against French nuclear testing in the Pacific. So they didn't like the campaign we were running against French nuclear testing, blowing up nuclear bombs in the Pacific. And so they bombed the Rainbow Warrior and killed. They murdered Fernando Pereira, who was one of the Greenpeace people.
Photographer.
Yeah, that's right. So really amazing. I mean, incredible if you think, what if a friendly country decided today to bomb a ship in Auckland Harbour today? I mean, it would be unthinkable.
Exactly. 那么刚才首先呢，就是问到了这个 Russell， 就是说这个彩虹勇士号。今天我们看到的彩虹勇士号呢，其实已经是经过修复的，对吧？
今天的彩虹勇士号其实已经不是当时服役的彩虹勇士号，
不是那一艘船了。
对，当时的那一艘船已经放到了那个新西兰北部的马陶里贝，所以放在那里，它就是做了一个人工的这个礁石吧，然后作为是一种纪念，包括有当地很多毛利人还有当地人会定期到那边去做一个纪念的活动，同时就是像绿色和平组织每年也会组织大家，然后去到那里，然后去进行一个纪念性的活动。譬如我们会每年去到那边去帮助种植树木啊，然后举行一些毛利当地的一些仪式这样子的。
1985年。当时候，发生了一件震惊，其实严格来说是全球的事情。没有想到在那么和平的国家纽西兰就是发生这件事情，就是法国因为要在这个南太平洋进行这个核爆测试，
对，
绿色和平组织去阻止，
对，
这件事情引起了法国政府的不快，就派了这些潜水员把这个船给炸沉了，而且还导致一名非常著名的这个
随船摄影师对
的死亡。
对，当时是就是说是那个彩虹勇士号，它停泊在奥克兰的港口进行后方的这种补给。然后呢，法国政府其实是安排了间谍，然后在船底安装了2枚炸弹。当第1枚炸弹爆炸的时候呢，就是船长就是告诉大家说，我们就是要撤离这个船。然后当时的摄影师他是突然想起来，我有一个非常重要的设备，然后留在了那个船上，我要回去取。但是第2次他就没有想到还有一个第2次的爆炸，然后第2次的爆炸就导致了这名摄影师的这个死亡。这是一个非常让人悲伤的故事，但是同时也是因为这个事件的发生，那么在2年之后，新西兰政府推出了一项法案，说那我们在新西兰是禁止无核化的。这个无核化的法律也是因为这个彩虹勇士号的爆炸推进了这一项的立案通过。所以是彩虹勇士号是对于新西兰本土人是有非常重大的意义，甚至今天彩虹勇士号再次来到奥克兰和新西兰的时候，有很多人自驾从南岛北岛，然后就是到这边再去来看一下这个彩虹勇士号。虽然已经不是当时的那条船，但是对他们来讲是有非常重要的意义，也代表着新西兰它是一个独立自主主权的国家，对法国说不。
I heard about those 1985. I haven't actually arrived in New Zealand, but later on I heard about the whole incident, and but I didn't actually know that the New Zealand's anti-nuclear policy was actually directly related to the Rainbow Warrior. You know, later was just trying to explain.
Yeah, I mean, the Kirk government from 1972 to 1975 had quite strong anti-nuclear position. They'd sent a frigate out into the Pacific, and then of course the Longy government, then that came in '84. It was pushed to adopt an anti-nuclear position as a result of not only the peace movement but the bombing of the Rainbow Warrior in 1985. It was a key part of it.
So what is the purpose for Rainbow Warrior to come back and this time after several years?
Well, I mean, the nuclear-free movement was a critical part in New Zealand's history, but the great challenge the world faces now, of course, is climate change.
Environment.
Yeah, that's right. So, and you know, we've just had a very significant victory in terms of ending new oil and gas exploration permits. And so the first thing the Rainbow Warrior is doing is celebrating that, because it's quite globally significant that New Zealand, the new government, has decided to stop issuing exploration permits. It's from a climate change point of view, it's very important. We can't afford to burn existing fossil fuel reserves, let alone look for more fossil fuels if we're going to avoid catastrophic climate change.
那么刚才呢问到呢 Russell 呢，就是说1985年的时候当时候呢彩虹勇士号呢是为了要对这个核子这方面的一种抗争。 那么这一次重新来到这个奥克兰，是目的已经有所不一样了啊，专门针对的是比较主要针对这个气候变化啊、环境的保护方面，在这方面呢，全球方面呢是取得一个相当重要的一个成果啊。那么这一次彩虹勇士号来呢，是不是也配合这方面的一些宣传等等呢？
对。其实，在今年的4月份，就是新西兰的女总理，下达了一个新的法令，就是说，在新西兰已经不再发放离岸石油勘探和开采的这个证书，所以这个来说，对新西兰也是一个重大的事件。其实这是对于彩虹勇士号来说是一个非常有关联的2个事件的一个结合，因为之前的无核化和今天的这个无石油离岸开采这个法案是有相关的，因为他们都是为了去维护我们大气候变化，然后保护环境同一个主题下面而进行的活动。然后今天我们同样也是取得了胜利，是在4月份的时候。新西兰通过这项法案，同时对大家来说是一件利好的消息吧，因为大家可以远离石油开采的污染，包括石油开采产生的一些化石化工的污染，在海底产生，对我们的食物都会有影响。所以这次彩虹勇士号来到奥克兰，也是同样是庆祝这件事情。
With regards to climate change, why I've heard, including from some of the the mainstream radio stations, some of the radio program hosts, they still disagreed to or try not to admit there's an issue with the climate change. And some scientists, they don't agree with climate change. Why is that so? I mean, it has been scientifically proven climate change is real, but why are there still a number of scientists say no? It was just like a natural, if you look back to the 100 years, all this data and so and so, climate hasn't actually changed much. Why is that so?
There's almost no scientists who disagree with human-caused climate change. I mean, virtually zero. I mean, if you look at the literature, the scientific literature, there's, I think the level of agreement is like 97% or something like that. So it's not really scientifically contested anymore that human-induced climate change is happening, that humans are changing the climate. Obviously, there's a lot of vested interests, fossil fuel companies who have a very strong business interest in maintaining the fossil fuel extraction. So they've funded a lot of disinformation. That's their job. They see that as confusing people is their business proposition. So that's why there's been a debate around it. But the science is now very well established. So it's not really an issue for contention anymore.
刚才我第一个问题呢是问到了，就是Russell 就是有关为什么到现在为止呢，还是有部分的科学家或者是有一些媒体人就是对这个气候变化呢还是存有一个很大的一个质疑。那么其实 Russell 他的解释就是说，其实呢已经不需要再去进一步的去辩论呢。今时今日我们感受到这个气候变化跟人的这一个行为呢是很息息相关的，这方面已经是不需要去辩论了。那么再有呢，可能之所以有这方面的一个争议呢，这背后可能会有一些商业方面的一些目的、一些用意，有一些受到影响的行业当然是还是在持续的认为呢，就是说呢，他们自身的这个商业行为并不是促使这个气候产生这个变化的这个最主要的一个原因，因此呢，还是有这方面的一些辩论。OK， 那么好，三分天下事，天下事说3分，咱们稍作休息，待会回来呢，我会跟 Russell 以及雷呢来探讨一下，探讨什么呢？探讨就是说，纽西兰在禁止这个汽油以及石油的勘探之后呢，纽西兰这个国家，我们民众们生活上会出现一些什么样的一些变化？要不要面对更高昂的成本的一些进口的一些油？ 以及呢，我们也会探讨一下绿色和平组织这个组织呢，到底它背后是由谁来支持的？他们一般的这个运作又是如何？咱们稍后回来。三分天下事，天下事说三分，欢迎大家回来。那么今天晚上的三分天下事呢，很高兴能够邀请到绿色和平组织的首席行政官 Russell Norman 来到我们这个节目，以及呢，这个组织的这个数据分析员雷来到我们这个节目里面，跟我们大家来探讨一下。刚才在第一节的时候呢，问了这个 Russell 有关的这个气候变化到底是不是真的？为什么有一些人还是否定了？那么他也做了解释。另外一个问题，我想问一下。Russell, the government policy to stop the exploration of the oil and gas and disencourage people to use fossil fuel, especially on their motor vehicles, and encourage people to go into more electrified cars. So I look at the last figures that I look at the whole country now. There are only about 6,000 cars that they are electric cars. By the time when we have to change all that, it will take about like 20-25 years. Do you reckon?
I think it's going to happen a lot faster than that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we've started the transition, and there's huge economic advantages for New Zealand in doing it. We spend $5 billion a year importing oil. The oil that we produce in New Zealand, we don't use. It's all exported. So we're spending $5 billion a year to run our transport fleet, our vehicles. And so if we can generate that energy ourselves through solar panels and feed it into the grid, and then it powers up electric vehicles, it's a great economic opportunity for us because we don't have to spend $5 billion a year importing oil. We produce that energy ourselves.
But during this transition period, how long is this transition period going to be? And during this period, like what is it going to cost New Zealanders on their daily cost of living, let's say, for example? Are they going to deal with much higher petrol prices because they are all imported?
Well, that won't change. I mean, the fact that New Zealand has stopped issuing permits for exploration doesn't change the fact that we still have to import all our liquid transport fuels.
All of them?
Yeah, So it doesn't, that changes nothing really, yeah.
Okay.
But the advantage for us as a country is enormous because the faster we go to get off oil, the quicker we don't have to spend all this money importing oil for our transport fleet, but generate it ourselves. And of course, electric vehicles, electricity is a lot cheaper than oil, so the ongoing costs of running electric vehicles are much lower.
What happened to those batteries? After 5 or 6 years, people need to replace the batteries. Where are they going to dump those batteries?
So the batteries can be recycled. We don't have the facilities yet in New Zealand because the electric vehicle fleet's still too small. But we'll definitely need the recycling facilities for the batteries, I agree. But that's a totally manageable problem compared to climate change, which is, rising sea levels, giant storms, as we're seeing in East Asia right now, Southeast Asia and East Asia, and in the United States, of course. Those storms are immensely destructive. So avoiding climate change is pretty important.
If we look at some countries in Europe, let's say, for example, a lot of countries, they have already few years back, or maybe even longer, they have already started pushing that part, especially on vehicles. Some of them they have already targeted by the year in about 10 years' time. They want to ban all fossil fuel vehicles and push everybody to buy electric. They have the facilities to facilitate, but why New Zealand's? At the moment, yes, the fleet is small. However, if we never have those facilities, the fleet will always remain as small, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you really need the charging network. That's the key thing, to put the charging network in place. It's not very hard to do. We already have a network of petrol stations. Z Energy, for example, are already putting, and others are as well, electric charging stations. So it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the great thing about electric vehicles is they're just much better technology. I mean, I grew up working on my own car, you know, fixing the engine on my petrol cars, and all my brothers did, and my dad. He worked in coal, you know. We all worked in these industries. I used to build cars for a living in a factory. But now we're just seeing a rapid transition away from the internal combustion engine, away from petrol, to electricity, and they're much better vehicles. It's a great technology. So it's
cleaner.
Much cleaner, but also much fewer moving parts. I mean, if you've ever worked on an internal combustion engine, it has thousands and thousands of moving parts that break. Whereas electric vehicles have very few moving parts. They're very simple machines, and they don't need a gearbox, of course. So it's just a much better technology.
那刚才问的一连串Russell 呢，有关呢，就是说。当这个国家纽西兰咱们就是禁止了开采这个天然气跟石油，对于我们的一个油价，因为我们非常依赖这个进口油，对于这个油价是不是意味着纽西兰的消费者们在这一个未来要面对更高昂的这个汽油的这个价格呢？其实 Russell 是说，其实没什么分别，跟这个之前没有区别。为什么呢？差不多接近100%，纽西兰咱们汽车所燃烧的这些燃油都是进口的，所以说呢，禁止或者不禁止，对于咱们依赖这些进口油根本上没有分别。那么如果能够推动大家去购买这个用电池然后或者电动发动的推动的这个汽车的话呢，每一年基本上这个国家可以节省差不多50亿不需要去支付那么多的钱来购买进口那么多的这些汽油或者是这些天然气等等。那么在这一方面绝对，而且呢 Russell 也是极力的推荐这个我们叫做电池车吧因为呢更加的干净，更加的简便，里面的这个引擎构造等等更加的方便，是不是
对
还有什么要补充的吗？
对，正好我还想补充一点。我看了一下，就是总理新颁发的这个法案，他是说在从一定时期内不再颁发离岸开采钻探的证书，但是已经颁发的，他们还是会
继续等到这个合约完，
对，到合约截止，也就是说大概是到2030年的时候才会全面禁止说我勘探这项任务。但是如果是已经勘探出来的石油的话，其实政府还是允许他们进行一段时间的开采，就是说大概是到2070年的时候才是全面禁止石油的开采。所以政府也给了这个国家的一个足够的过渡阶段，去向新的能源去转型，并不是说我们马上就停止，而是说让大家也在慢慢的适应，去寻找新的能源和代替能源。所以是有这样的一个过程的。
OK， 很好。Let's talk about Greenpeace. What does Greenpeace do?
Greenpeace campaigns to protect the environment. So it's a global campaigning organisation. It's a non-government organisation. So we don't take money from governments. We don't take money from business. We're independent. We're funded by individual donations. So there's people give us money, monthly donations, and that funds the organisation.
Nothing from business, nothing from government.
That's right. So that's to give us the independence, so we can say it how it is. We can speak truth to power. And so we campaign, for example, to stop nuclear testing in the Pacific. That was very successful in the end. We're campaigning currently on climate change. We're also campaigning to clean up the rivers. So New Zealand has very dirty rivers because of the dairy industry. And we're also campaigning on plastics, and there's a large range of issues we're campaigning on.
And also the Japanese whale killing. You guys also campaign about it.
Yeah, we've been campaigning for many years on whales. What we're focused on at the moment is the krill industry, and so the whales all head down to the Southern Ocean to eat krill, right? But there's a big growing krill industry that's going there and fishing out all the krill. So we're actually campaigning to protect the whales' food now. Yeah.
So the organisation Greenpeace, the organisation is entirely supported by individuals.
There's Greenpeace offices all around the world, and they get donations from individuals there. So
okay, and then do you actually have a head office somewhere?
the head office is in Amsterdam.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they actually funded the New Zealand Greenpeace.
No. So New Zealanders. Yeah. So there's
Okay.
tens of thousands of people give us money each month.
How much does it require to run an organization? Because it is, you cover a lot of activities. You have a lot of people. They need to make a living as well. So how big is Greenpeace in New Zealand?
The annual income is about 10 million New Zealand dollars.
Really?
Yeah. So that funds the thing. But I mean, this is people powered campaigning. That's how it works.
That's interesting.
If you want to protect the environment,
Sure.
you can't leave it up to the government or business that they can play a role, but you need civil society organisations, non-government organisations. That's traditionally why is New Zealand clean and green now to the extent that it is, because of the campaigning by environment NGOs, non-government organisations over a long time.
I have asked these questions to the Green Party co-leader, James Shaw, before. Is it true, or it's always that's the case when protecting environment on one hand and promoting business, there's always a conflict of interest? Is that always the case?
It varies, is the short answer.
That is a tricky question,
Yeah.
I understand.
I mean, if you think about the future of the oil industry, I mean, if humanity is to have a future on planet Earth, the oil industry has to die, right? There's no option, right? It's like the oil industry must go. But what's going to replace it? There's going to be electric vehicles, there's going to be photovoltaic panels, solar panels on people's houses, there's going to be battery industries. There's going to be a whole bunch of new industries that grow even as the oil industry does.
that will create the employment opportunities and so on.
So it's just the change. There will still be energy industries, but they will be different energy industries that aren't destroying the climate.
Can I ask you one question, Russell? We understand some of the countries, like the Middle East countries, they are most likely entirely relied on, exporting the crude oil and this and that. So when everybody turned to electric cars and the consumption of those natural resources is getting much less, what happened to those countries then? Maybe we'll talk about in about 50 years, those countries will they collapse because there's no economically, there's nothing to support them to keep going.
Well, I mean, those countries have very large sovereign wealth funds, and so they are very explicit. They say this openly, that they need to get out of the oil industry. So Saudi Arabia has a strategy to develop its economy beyond oil, and it's using its sovereign wealth fund. It's private, or it's seeking to list the government-owned oil company. Because it wants to extract the resources out of oil so it can develop the other parts of its economy. We're going to, it's an amazing time to be alive because we've built our entire civilization on fossil fuels, right? And yet we have to get off them in the next 20, 30 years, otherwise we're going to have a climate catastrophe. And so this huge transition's underway in the way our economy gets its energy. And so some industries will die and other industries will grow.
刚才呢一连串呢提了很多的问题呢，问到了就是有关这个在能源方面的使用对环境方面所造成的一个破坏力。那么最主要呢就是安德鲁我是问到了 Russell 呢是有关，就是说当我们的一方面我们要保护环境，另外一方面我们也希望能够推动这个一个国家的这个商业的这个发展，在这个两者之间呢，是不是出现一个怎么说呢？就是冲突那么 Russell 呢也很直白的说，总是会有的，总是会有一些行业因为一些新的理念、一些新的政策而逐渐的消失，又有另外一些行业呢是能够诞生。那么这方面在这个旧的行业可能失去的，那么在新的行业方面可以找寻得到。包括了在欧洲，我们也看到了，在欧洲好多的国家都其实已经是积极的推动了，这个更加能够环保、节省能源的消耗的一些，比方讲说一些这个有这个电池发动的这个机车等等。那么安德鲁我也问到了这个 Russell， 就是说，在我们尽量的去降低、减少使用这些天然资源的同时，对于一些呢非常依赖这些资源出口的这些国家，比方讲说一些中东国家等等， 他们将来怎么办啊？那么 Russell 也说呢，这个他们自己要有他们自己的一套解决方式，他们有很多的这些主权基金，而且呢，其实有很多的国家，包括了沙特阿拉伯呢，已经一早就开始呢，希望能够在经济方面做一些转型，不要太过的依赖在这个石油等方面的这个原油方面的这个出口等这方面的一些情况。Russell, when we talk about like climate change, this is relatively, if we go back to like 20 years ago, nobody was talking about it, or very few people was actually concerning about it. But why is it all of a sudden now, when we started from global warming, all right, to climate change, why is it especially the last maybe like 10, 15 years when suddenly it becomes such a big issue?
You know, the science has really firmed around it. So obviously scientists were raising the alarm bell 30 years ago because, but the science has been building so that we understand really what's going on. And then, you know, we're starting now to see the effects. I mean, these big storms that are happening right now, they're worse because of climate change.
Okay.
So the sea levels have started to rise. That's already underway. You've got a lot more energy in the climate system, and you're starting to see some pretty extreme weather events. So the science says that you would expect that the storms will become more intense, which is what's happening, and you'd expect the sea level to start rising, and that's also happening. So reality is happening.
Isn't it? Especially the last 20 years, all of a sudden, you know, everybody start talking about.
Yeah.
I remember there was the times when people were more concerned about the black hole,
ozone hole.
The ozone hole. You know, there was the times when people were a bit concerned, especially in the summertime. You know, like and then we talk about UV index and all, but it all happens the last like 20, 30 years. The most, I believe, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. The CFCs and the ozone hole was a very interesting, a similar kind of debate. So once the science became clear that CFCs were destroying the ozone, increased UV, cancer rates, the chemical companies said it wasn't true. Who produced the CFCs? They opposed it. They campaigned against it. People like me in the environment movement campaigned for action. Eventually, we won. And we forced the slow elimination of CFCs, and the ozone hole is slowly starting to heal. But now climate change, for many years, oil companies tried to confuse people. You know, there's a court case in the United States about Exxon because it knew 25 years ago, but misled people. So we're in the middle of this phase now where we've managed to overcome all the misinformation of the oil companies, and people are starting to hear the truth, the science about climate change.
好，那么三分天下事，天下事说三分啊，咱们再休息一下子。三分天下事，天下事说三分，欢迎大家再度回来。那么刚才呢，前两节呢，我们探讨了很多，也跟大家介绍了这一个绿色和平组织，以及呢已经在奥克兰停泊的这个彩虹勇士号，也谈到了这个气候变化。到底这个气候变化跟这个商业的推动方面有什么样的一个冲突啊？那么在这方面呢 ，Russell 呢也做了一个比较详细的一个解释啊。其实呢，他认为呢，就是说气候变化呢确实是有那么一回事的，而且呢，跟我们的这些能源方面的使用啊，工业方面的这些进展啊，这些发展呢都是息息相关的，都是带动的这个气候变化呢，应该让大家越来越关注的地方。那么最后呢，我也问到他为什么呢？突然之间呢，气候变化这个议题呢，突然之间在过去的二十来年呢，突然之间那么的火热，那么的热门，他就解释说呢，因为科技的发展，进一步的确认了这方面的一些数据啊等等这方面。其实这方面磊磊你是做这个数据的这个分析员的，你可以跟大家来说说这一个整个这个气候变化的一些你自己本身对的一些了解吧。
好，其实我有看到这个数据说，在新西兰每年平均每人可能会消费到350个塑料袋
啊，塑料袋。
对，所以这个塑料袋就是说可以足够说是无死 2次新西兰的人口，这个塑料袋而且这个塑料袋很多它是流入到了海洋当中，它同时会对就是海洋生物，譬如海龟、海豹啊，造成很大的威胁，因为它们不会区分塑料袋和食物，对，所以它们可能会吞食，对，所以对它们的消化系统会产生了一些阻碍，然后并且。如果这些塑料袋是进入到土壤当中的话，也对土壤的再生是非常不利的。所以最近也是Greenpeace 也绿色和平组织也是在推动另一项活动，就是禁塑令。那也是在前不久呢，那个新西兰政府也是推出了这项法令，说最近要拟化具体的禁塑令。那对于我们来说，其实作为我们个人来讲，我们是可以做一些力所能及的事情，譬如是给垃圾进行分类，还有就是说一些软的塑料包装，我们其实是可以回收的。在进行回收的时候，其实那个可以制作公园里面的座椅呀，可以用在其他的方面。所以我们可以鼓励大家去做一些这种回收的活动。还有一方面是我们也希望是说相关的一些企业对社会进行负起责任。譬如一些企业它会生产大量的塑料瓶，那它这个生产的塑料瓶，它会把价钱加在消费者的身上，但是企业并没有负起太多的责任，说那产生的塑料垃圾瓶怎么处理？对，包括之前在去年的时候，中国已经出台一个法律说，那我们就不再接受来自于美国、英国呀、新西兰这样国家的一些塑料瓶进行回收。那么这样给新西兰本身也造成了很大的压力，那就需要处理这些塑料瓶，进行处理。如果是没有地方回收的话，那很大的一部分将要进行填埋到海洋当中，同样也是会造成污染，所以这样会造成很大的压力。
所以说尽量的减少这方面的使用。
对，我们也鼓励企业去想一些办法，去生产一些可降解的材料。
Now this part I like to touch a little bit about the challenges. You know, like your organization, Greenpeace, the things that you are doing and your future plans. What kind of challenges can you see? Well, internally or externally or whatever, globally. I'll leave it to you, Russell.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously climate change and campaigning on climate change is one of the big issues, and really it's going to be the defining issue of our lifetimes. What happens on climate change?
If we talk about making sure people understand or accepting the facts of man-made climate change, we understand that a lot of developing countries or third world countries, they are far behind of accepting the idea because they're still struggling, you know, so I mean it is still a long way to let other countries understand the idea.
I don't know about that. So if you think of India, for example, as a developing country, I mean they've got a very large solar plan, for example.
Okay.
And they kind of, and they've got a good understanding of the impact of climate change because it's already impacting them. Likewise, if you think about Bangladesh, very low-lying country, already being impacted by sea level rise. If you think about China, China is a global leader on climate change. And so I think what you're seeing is that there are these a whole bunch of leaders within what used to be called the developing world who want to provide leadership on climate change because they can see it's impacting them. The other thing that's really exciting is that you're kind of getting these technology leaps. I don't know if you remember, with mobile phones, for some countries they kind of leapt over landlines, so they just never did landlines, this went to mobile. And so I think you're seeing a lot of that with the leap to renewable technology.
Okay.
So I actually think that's it's quite a good story. There's a huge amount. I mean, China is now a world leader in solar. Massive. It used to be Germany, right? And now China is way ahead on solar, which is incredibly exciting.
If solar energy needs to be pushed in New Zealand, what do you believe the major challenge is? Is it because of the cost? people really can't afford it.
It's the upfront capital cost.
Yeah.
So it's very cheap to run once you've got it in, but it's the upfront capital cost. So we just put out a policy last week, which was about putting 500,000 solar photovoltaic panels with batteries on houses. And so the government puts up the original capital cost, 0 interest loans, and then people pay it back over 10 years. That will get it over the line. A lot of people want photovoltaics. They know that it's cheap. They kind of like the idea of having it on their own roof and stuff. But it's the upfront capital. So if the government steps in, provides the upfront capital costs, I think that will get it over the line. New Zealand needs it. So if you look at Transpower, which is the grid operator, they put out a big plan looking out to 2050, and in their plan there's masses of electric vehicles, there's no coal and gas, it drops out of the system, so we need lots and lots of solar and lots of batteries to get us through the evening peak loads. So you can see the technology pathway, we just need to help people with some of those initial investments.
那么刚才呢，就是说问到了Russell 有关呢，就是说有一些什么样的挑战？是不是在这个全球来说在这个专门保护环境方面呢，其实是不是只是发达国家他们的一个专有的责任，以及他们的力所能及的地方？其实Russell Norman 就是说不是的，而且我们看到很多呢发展中国家，其实在这方面做的功夫还不错，其中包括了中国在这个环境保护方面，推动这个再生能源方面，这做的工作投入还是蛮大的。印度也是如此其实这个当然这中间是需要一个过程，这个过程是需要时间，必须要教育民众，让他们了解到为什么我们要去这么做，对不对？那么另外Russell 也是说到了这个有关这个太阳能发动太阳能，我就问到这个说那么你推动这个太阳能简单吗？容易吗？听起来好像很简单，其实呢，为什么呢？单单在纽西兰，如果你真的是要推动家家户户都使用太阳能的话，首先在这个成本方面就是相当高，就是一般的家庭不是很容易负担的。那么 Russell Norman 他也是认为是如此，所以说希望政府呢能够有一些政策出台来配合，比方讲说用一种无息贷款的方式，那么也同时能够减少这个电费方面的这个支出，是不是？是不是这么一回事？
对，
一直在那边点头。
是这样的，可能像这种能源刚开始前期的投入可能会有一些，但是它是一个一劳永逸的一个过程。当我们使用了这种可再生资源的话，我们不需要就不断的去付费，对吧？譬如像那个石油的话，我们需要加一次油付一次费，加一次油付一次费，这是一个无截止的过程。但是如果是使用太阳能的话，那么我们可能放入的就是只是前期需要是那个放一些 investment， 但是后期的话就是长期来使用它，是我们在享受这个能源的这个过程，而且它是对环境是没有污染的。
Do you also believe, Russell, some of the major challenges actually coming from business?
Yes and no. There'll be some businesses, obviously, that
they're going to get benefits from it.
I mean, there's going to be
better environments and so on. So more opportunities.
In the long run, I mean, business, like everyone else, climate change is a disaster for everybody. So rising sea levels. I mean, most of our major commercial centres are within a few metres of the sea. So sea level rise is a global catastrophe. So I mean we are all on the same planet, So there's obviously some businesses whose in their interest to cause climate change, but most businesses are not in that position.
Why was United States actually pulled out from the what do you call it the Paris Agreement?
Well, I mean, obviously it's got a lot to do with Donald Trump, the catastrophe that is Donald Trump.
You would expect countries like the United States will, if the developing countries, they are also doing, like contributing their best, all right, to protect the environment. You would expect like countries like the United States, will do much better, isn't it? I mean.
It's really internal politics, right? I mean, this is the Republican Party, right? So the Republican Party has taken this very particular pathway, and it's really very destructive in so many dimensions. It's hard to really know where to
That's
start.
actually, the reason why I say so, because I believe, apart from the challenge because of the business environments, is political environment is also a major challenge.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, so we need to build a global political consensus around action on climate change. And we've got some of the way there. Obviously, Donald Trump is a fly in the ointment, but he's only there for a few years and then he's gone, whereas the rest of us are stuck with this thing. We need to fix it.
刚才呢也挺有趣的，就是问到了，就是说面对的一些挑战，那么是不是有一些挑战是来自于商业的？当然Russell 说呢，这个是必定的啊，有一些会支持，有一些会反对。那么随着时间的不断的这个迁移呢，可能有一些行业会消失。那么再有，我就问到他呢，就是说，当我们看到的一些发展中的国家啊，比方讲说中国在内啊，或者是连印度在内等等，都致力的推行这个更加环保的一些政策的同时，那么为什么美国选择退出这个巴黎这个气候协议啊？这方面呢是怎么去解释？你会想着说，美国那么一个先进的国家啊，那么强大，超级强国，应该在这方面不是应该更具有代表性，应该做得更好吗？Russell Norman 说，这个就是跟美国的这个政治气候有关系，跟美国总统 Donald Trump 他自己本身有关系的。那么当然 ，Russell 他也认为呢，其实 Donald Trump 呢在任美国总统呢，也就是几年的时间。那么接着下来，美国人在这个环保方面，在这个控制这个气候变化方面呢，能够做一些什么呢？我们要拭目以待啊。这方面呢，我就问到他，我之所以为什么这么说呢？我说，除了这个商业方面，是不是在政治方面，其实呢，对于推动环境保护，这个抑制气候发生变化的方面呢，其实在政治方面这个影响力还算是蛮大的啊。Lady 有什么东西想补充的吗？
像绿色和平组织，它是在全球48个国家都是有分布的嘛，包括在中国、北京、香港、台北，它都是有它的办公室，所以绿色和平组织它会根据当地的这种国情，然后进行每个国家的这个办公室进行的活动是不一样的，每个国家的形式不一样，我们会就是每一个 office 会有不同的这样的 campaign 活动，
不同的一些 project。
对，譬如像在新西兰，最近是在 Mackenzie 那个 area， 它是在那个 Lake Tekapo 和 Pukaki，是非常漂亮的2个湖，是有乳制品公司想在那边是建牧场，但是这样子的话是会对当地的一个自然景观是会造成非常大的污染。那么绿色和平组织新西兰的这个分公司，它就会去进行游说，然后告诉政府，这样是对环境有非常大的影响，去进一步来做保护环境的这样的一个活动吧。
非常好，好，时间上的关系呢，3分天下事呢，今天晚上呢就要到此为止。很高兴呢能够邀请到绿色和平组织的这个 CEO Russell Norman， 以及呢这个组织的这个数据的分析员雷来到我们这个节目里面。Thank you for coming to this program, Russell. Thanks a lot. Thank you. 谢谢你，雷雷。
Thank you.
好，3分天下事，天下事说3分，咱们下周再见，拜拜。